So, good afternoon. This is Dr. Kent DeLay, and I'm going to answer a question that I got recently that has to do with urology. And the question is, can a man ejaculate and urinate at the same time? And to give you the punchline, the short answer is usually no, but I think it's important to talk a little bit about why, and that involves understanding a little bit of urologic anatomy. So, if we're looking at the man's urinary and reproductive system, he has a bladder, a prostate, and a urethra, which is the channel urine runs through to get out of the body. In addition to that, he has these little glands here called seminal vesicles that sit behind the prostate, and he has testicles which make sperm. So, when a man is urinating, his urine will flow out of the bladder, through the urethra, and then out of the tip of his penis. When a man ejaculates, actually the majority of that fluid is going to come from the prostate itself and these little glands, the seminal vesicles. A very small amount of that fluid actually comes from the testicles themselves. So, why would it be hard for a man to urinate and ejaculate at the same time? So, when a man goes to ejaculate, he has spasm of pelvic floor muscles, which propel the ejaculate out of the urethra and then out of the end of the penis. But in order to keep that ejaculate from going back into the bladder, he has a structure called the bladder neck, which is essentially just a ring of muscle which can contract. The reason it does so when the man ejaculates is this prevents the ejaculate, so the fluid that is coming from the prostate, seminal vesicles, and the testis from backing up into the bladder. So this essentially closes off and acts as a valve to propel things forward. Now, the reason he can't urinate at the same time is if this bladder neck is closed, he's going to have that valve closed, which will prevent urine from going forward. Now, there are certain conditions where a man will have issues with his bladder neck, and that can be from prostate surgery, medications, or a spinal cord condition where this doesn't work well and the ejaculate will actually go back into the bladder. We call that retrograde ejaculation. Now, another thing that can happen is a man can leak urine with orgasm, and we call that climacturia. Now, why would that happen? So, if a man has his prostate removed for prostate cancer and this entire structure is gone, when he goes to climax and has an orgasm, he won't produce any ejaculate because the prostate, which produces the majority of it, is gone. But when he has contraction of his abdominal and pelvic floor muscles, this can put pressure on the bladder and can cause the release of small amounts of urine when the man ejaculates. And there are treatments for that because it obviously can be bothersome if a man is, leaking urine at the time that he's having an orgasm. So, just to give you a little bit of a urology anatomy, bladder, prostate, urethra, this bladder neck closes when a man ejaculates and helps propel the ejaculate forward. The bladder neck opens when the man goes to urinate, and this allows urine to travel forward. So, this is a little bit of an in-depth understanding of urologic anatomy to answer the question of can a man urinate and ejaculate at the same time? And the answer is usually no.